Hello, ladies and gentle fucking men. So, probably wondering what this hat and this t-shirt's all about. Well, I'll get to that later in another video, but that's here nor there. It's basically, has to do with a new thing that the boys over Port City Production and Port City Pro Shop are going to be doing. And essentially, it's going to be a really, really good thing. Now, I want to make this extra clear. This is not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. Okay? I'm not near ready for that kind of thing yet. I'm still going to pound out as many reviews as I can. I may talk about some other videos, but it's going to be few and far between with those because I don't want to be that guy that just rants and raves and carries on like a lunatic. So, for this video, this is basically one of the last ones that I've been requested for. There are a couple others, but I'm going to kind of work through them in a little bit. I'm just going to take my time really, essentially, and work on it later. Halnova. They are a 4-piece metal band from Halifax, Nova Scotia, with brutal slamming bass, progressive psychedelic riffing, blast beats, and extra pissed off vocals. So they released their debut EP, which is a 6-song EP, back in April 7th, 2020, during the height of this Rona pandemic. Because it's what you do when you're in a band. You release records when you're stuck at home doing nothing, basically. So this is what I would call, hi Cat, this is what I would call an unrelenting brutal assault on the senses. Halnova consists of Elijah Stratton on guitars, Chad Nicholson on bass and vocals, Hest Harding on guitars, and Jason Potty on the drums. 6-song EP will take you on a journey through brutality and technicality as well. So let's get into the good and, of course, the bad. I'm sure you know where the bad's going to lead. But it is not really a bad, it's sort of another thing. So the good. It is brutal, it is technical, and it is pissed off. So someone who is looking for this type of EP is essentially going to be another band to add to your growing list of intense, brutal death metal. There's death metal, there's sort of tech death, I guess, and there's also a bit of metalcore in there with the breakdowns, because when you're in a band nowadays, you have to do a breakdown, yada yada yada. That's the thing. But there's some melodic pieces in here too, but not like a melodic death band where you're going to get a lot more melodies. To highlight what I mean by this is that in the midsection of the title track, Distorted Perception, definitely has a good chunk of that with the melody and the darkness to it to kind of make sure that it stays within the brutality and intensity, but it still has, it's still melodic in the sense of the term. So the record was produced by Bryce Holland at Holland Audio, and it was definitely well done. No doubt about it. There's not very many Nova Scotia bands or Halifax bands where I can go, okay, this is like completely mind-blowing. There's a couple, but they're on a completely other level than where these guys are at. And that's not to say that the other bands are up here and Halnova's down here. They're just split far apart. You got the one guy's over here and you get the other guys over here, sort of on that even playing field. But it's a completely different sort of thing. So, as I say, it was very well done. Art was done by Ulysses Serrano. And of course, what I did do is I did actually bring up the artwork. And this is what I'm going to start doing, because I'm actually in the process of going to start adding some things to the videos. I'm going to try to make it a little more professional. Please bear with me, because this is going to take friggin' time. I'm not a whiz at this crap. I just talk about stuff. So we'll pick you up like I did before. And there's the artwork there. So it's quite it's quite oh jeez. Sorry, kind of took you for a little ride, didn't I? See, and it's like I said before, this is raw. So Hopefully you don't get too dizzy. So yeah, there's the artwork. We go back. And I'm still doing this with my iPhone, so that's the other side of this. Like, you guys are going to have to remember, this is kind of like, this thing's going to happen until I, eventually at some point get a camera, and do this kind of thing. But who knows? Things are going to change this year. That's all I'm going to tell you. The bad about this record review that I'm still doing, but I kind of go off topic. There really isn't a whole lot to pick on here. Now, personally, I'm not one of these guys that's going to go out and listen to death metal. If I am, it's going to be the vintage bands that I know and I do like. But when it comes to this, what I would like them to do, and this is not a bad thing, this is a try something different, or try this. Maybe on the next record, try a little less experimental, like less technical, or keep the technical, but try a song that's stupid fast, like literally the song starts and it's done within like 2 minutes or less. And then maybe try another song that's like longer, maybe more along the lines of Death Doom. And I'm not telling you what to do. You never know. I don't know what your guys' plans are. I don't talk to the guys on a frequent basis. But what I do like him in my death metal when I listen to it is I like to have enough experimentation with speed, with tempos and that kind of thing. But this is all just my personal opinion. And the guys are going to watch this and be like, well, we don't want to do that. And that's fine. You don't have to. It's just, that's what I would like. I mean, I kind of guess some people could say, well, you're just being nitpicking. Well, no, that's just what I like in death metal. So really, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with the record. It's actually a really good record. And of course, everybody's going to go, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You don't have anything to pick on. Well, there's only one band that I did that with, and that was strictly a production thing. The production here was not done by them, and it was done quite well. I'm not saying that they couldn't have done a better production on their own. There's just certain ways to do things. They did it quite well, rather well. And I've watched a few of their videos on their Facebook page and on Instagram where they're playing, they're doing rehearsals, and it sounds good. I mean, mind you, it's a lot harder to hear because they don't have a big production in their jam space to make it better. It's more raw when you watch the jam. So that's the best part. So when it comes to the verdict, it's getting a 4 out of 5 on this debut EP from Halnova. These guys are super pissed off. They're brutal. They're technical, and they know what the fuck they're doing. They're great songwriters, and they're young guys, so they've got a long, musical songwriting career ahead of them. Essentially, whether they do lofty heights or they just sit at a nice pace in their own scene. That's perfect. What more can you fucking ask for with these guys? Okay, guys, and make sure you share the goddamn thing, too. But then again, I know these kids are going to do that, so I'm not too worried about it. Anywho, thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm going to have another shot or another shoot here to do in just a few seconds. Get the horns up. Let's do it.